Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. We got Sam Flannel, who is very on brand today. It's all flannel all the time with Sam Flannel. We got Sawyer in the house as well. What's popping, everybody?
It's all good. It's all good. It's another bucket list item. Got to say to my new best friend, Sirius XM 156, Dave LaGreca, and Busted Open. Just did an interview for about half an hour and stuff like that with my buddy Tommy Dreamer, and so I got my wrestling talk in, so I'm good. I'll probably be chill today.
You'll probably be chill today? All right, I like it. Detroit Dabber on our YouTube chat thread jumped in first, so some order has been restored as far as that world goes. And remember, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can tap right into that YouTube chat thread. We use it as part of the show here. Get your thoughts out there, your opinions. Can't get to them all, obviously, because they're firing fast and furious, but when we can, we involve all the thoughts that go on with that. And remember to follow Big D Energy on social media as well. Big D Energy on Twitter also. If you're listening on the radio, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Hello and welcome. Happy to have you with us. Big time show lined up today. We will talk to KJ Wright, former Super Bowl winner with the Seattle Seahawks, linebacker last season for the Raiders. We'll kind of wrap up the Super Bowl discussion a little bit. And I want to talk some NFL playoffs as a whole with him because you know, D-Mac, I've always talked about it, the legacy aspect of the NFL. Look at, man, people are questioning Aaron Rodgers now. You tell me every playoff game doesn't matter? It matters.
No, I think it really does. And, you know, it's always interesting to talk to guys who played with certain guys, but it's also good to talk to guys who have played against certain guys. So I have a few questions for Mr. Wright, who anybody back, you remember through the early 2010, 11, since he was drafted, 12, 13, 14, the Legion of Boom out in Seattle.
Yeah, he was a mainstay of
Bobby
it.
Wagner, Camp Chancellor, KJ Wright, you know, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. And it's intriguing because this is a gentleman which we always like, that he earned everything that he got, right? Being a later round draft choice and stuff like this and playing himself into one of the best defenses for a 3, 4, or 5 year period.
No, absolutely. So we will talk to him and kind of recap Super Bowl, talk playoff legacy, all that kind of stuff. On our YouTube chat thread, AC says, please, no more Stafford. We're talking Stafford at the parade. We are going to talk about that because you can debate whether or not he's a Hall of Famer on the field. He was a Hall of Famer at the parade yesterday.
That was awesome. It was awesome through his speech. Yes, he was fully served, as he should have been, with his choice. But can I bring up? There's certain things in marriages, Neal, and you being married.
Yes.
But there was something that happened yesterday that I just went, oh, well, I know what happens when the kids get hurt. Who takes care of them? Did you see this?
Which one?
The Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
The lady fell down.
Oh, yeah.
We're showing it here right now. So Matt Stafford signed an autograph, and a lady bites it. He's got a beer in his hand, takes a drink, walks away. Not me. It's like in the club, stuff's popping off, and he's got to go. But Kelly, looks well served too, but she's the concerned parent. Right, looking in. And I guess Sawyer said, hopefully a speedy recovery, but I guess the girl injured her back or something.
Oh, yeah. You definitely don't want to see that.
That looked like there's some that look like a stumble or whatever. That looked like a drop.
And those are the worst because you can't prepare yourself for the impact. You know what I'm saying? Like you're dangling at that point.
And no, he didn't push her. 2 hands on his beer. No, but
as you guys know, we like to mix real life into the show from time to time as well. And this morning, and we've talked about our families a little bit and stuff like that. And I have kids. I have 2. I have a freshman in high school. I have a son in middle school. And I have a daughter in elementary school. So she likes, the pop music and everything like that. So she's really taken a liking to, Olivia Rodriguez songs. Olivia Rodrigo or Rodriguez? Which one is it?
I think it's Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. I think that's right. I want to make sure that I have
How
that right.
old is Olivia Rodrigo?
What's she, like 18 or something like that? 19? I don't know. Sawyer's on top of it. He'll let us know. Tammy Chin says, morning, Neal, Darren, Sawyer, and Alex. Good morning, Tammy. How are you? And yes, we did see that Oakland Hills Country Club, the clubhouse, is on fire right now. We did see that on the news. So I hope certainly everybody is okay. But Olivia Rodrigo came on the radio this morning as I was driving my son to school before I roll out to Planet Fitness, where my fitness is essential, live from the Planet Fitness studios here at Woodward Sports. But the song came on, and it's a newer one of hers. And D-Mac, I got to thinking about it, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while. And I know that Taylor Swift gets kind of this label as well. But Olivia Rodrigo, like, it's over. He broke up with you, and he ain't coming back. All right? So the borderline crying in the song, the driving up and down past the guy's house, driving up and down his street or whatever. Like, can we stop it, Olivia? He's not coming back. You guys are broken up. And hold on, D-Mac. Here's another thing, all right? 99.9999% of school relationships end in breakup. It's just the way that it works. All right? So this is good practice for the real world. But stop with the crying in the songs. It's over. We get it. You guys broke up. We're 3 songs in now. They're all about the breakup. Can we get something else? Like, are you going to go to a party or something like that later? Like, can we get something else? That's all I'm asking.
Anybody else think Taylor Swift 2022?
I didn't get the sense of her whining all the time.
There's a couple things I want to note here, right? There is fast forward or change on your playlist. You do not have to listen to that. But I see what you're doing. People don't understand this being February 17, Random Acts of Kindness Day, if you didn't know that out there. So please do some random acts of kindness, like my friend Neal just covertly did. So how many of you are going to check out Olivia Rodrigo that didn't know who it was? That's his act of kindness so that you can share in his teary misery. So how many songs did you listen to? I know I called it out. I called it out. I said, must be a cardio day because you're in a bad mood, right? Check mark D-Mac. That's a lot, 4 rehabs, $1 million in the brain. That's just psychology, stuff like this. You were mad. How many songs did you listen to? Did you listen to the whole album? Did you get through the 4 miles? Was it accomplishment? Did
I didn't know. This was on the way to Planet Fitness, all right? And it just
you didn't. So you didn't let it affect your essential fitness.
No, I kept it. I kept it clean and got my 4 miles in.
But you listened enough to get bent about it.
But
were you looking for motivation?
No, it's something that's been brewing with me, D-Mac. Like the first 2 songs were hits. You can't argue. She struck a chord. They're hits. That's cool. I get it. Good for you. Get your money. Like, do your thing. Sell your records. All that stuff. I'm cool with that. It's just like, people say we talk Stafford a lot. People who talk Stafford a lot look at Olivia Rodrigo and say, man, you talk about breaking up a lot.
Yeah, but remember the second album, right? Or, one of the first albums usually has a song about the ex,
Which I understand.
I used to love her, but I had to kill her. I used to love about his dog. Axel's about his dog, right?
I get it. AC says Neal is such a boomer. LMAO. Okay, Sawyer, you're a resident frat guy. Okay?
Yep.
Have you heard enough of Olivia Rodrigo complaining about getting broken up with?
I mean, to be honest, I don't actively listen to her or seek out her music, but
Sawyer, stop with that.
Well, I don't
You've
put
heard
it on.
It. Have you heard
it? Yeah, I don't like it, so I don't put it on.
But you've heard it.
Yeah.
So at some point you've heard it.
Yeah,
is she whining?
I was driving home from Indiana, and my sister put it on in the car.
Yeah.
And it was, kind of annoying. The first song, like Driver's License or whatever it's called, you're like, okay, this is fine. But then third breakup song in, you're like, all right.
He's not coming back.
I mean, you never know. We haven't had is a new album out yet? Maybe he comes back in the next album, and she's happy.
You think it's like wrestling and it's like a storyline?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to get into this. Wait a sec.
We might have
so
to
how
make a
long
segment.
is this going to bother? What's going to get this? How are we going to rectify this situation?
I don't know. I don't know that it can be, and I'm not giving suggestions, right? I'm doing what everybody does. I'm just complaining and not offering solutions.
Yeah. We're allowed. You're even allowed to do that because you offer solutions and truth, and both things can be true all the time.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, but it just reminds me of Taylor Swift 2022.
What do you got, Sam Flannel?
I think the problem is Olivia Rodrigo is using the worst possible breakup coping mechanisms. You hear it in the lyrics of all the songs, and after a while it's just like, you gotta move on. Stop driving past his house. Stop thinking about him. Go out with your friends. Talk to people. Seek help,
And look, guys, don't get me wrong.
18, right?
Look, and I'll just cut this off, too. Guys are the worst, okay? I'll freely admit that. Guys are the absolute worst. I get that. 100% cop to that, admit that, understand that, support that, all of it. So just so we're on equal footing with that, we are the worst. But with all that being said, there does come a point, Sam Flannel, where you got to say, you know what? That's enough.
I think she'll learn with age. Like we said,
so.
She's very, very young. You don't know what you don't know at that age. You think like, oh my God, the world is ending. I just broke up with my boyfriend. But you'll think back when you're 25 and be like, who is that guy,
Yeah, hey, you know what? The Dabs, Detroit Dab, are telling on himself a little bit. Said that Olivia had to add Paramore, another band, to her credits for Good For You because she ripped them off. So somebody else is out there that knows your plight. So there's more.
See, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. But look at me, D-Mac. That's why I bring this stuff to the table, because I'm every man. I'm every man.
You are every man.
I'm just a regular dude out here, like everybody else. Well,
I'm not going to check that out. I went through the Taylor Swift stuff with the kids, and that was enough.
And you served your time.
I served my time.
Ryan's reaction: Neal takes the last piece on a charcuterie board. Ryan, no, because I'm not anywhere where there's going to be a charcuterie board. I'm just telling you.
Straight up, gypsy, baby.
I'm not going to be anywhere where it's that. Joshua 3 says, no, she definitely be crying. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not hating. I know I'm going to get labeled an Olivia Rodrigo hater now. I understand that. I knew that walking into it, and I'm prepared to deal with that. But it's just, at some point, you got to get it together, and you got to get over it. And I don't think I'm asking too much there. And I just want a new angle, D-Mac. That's all I want, man. Joey 2 times. Neal's the kind of guy that brings cups to the potluck. You need cups, though, depending on what kind of potluck it is. That's actually a pretty solid play. I'd never thought of cups. Usually I do like napkins and stuff like that. It's the same thing, though.
You're every man with a furnace, right? AC says
He's
that.
Every man with 2 furnaces.
Every man with 2 furnaces. I don't even know if I have a furnace.
Yeah. Okay, D-Mac. No, but we do. We got a big-time show lined up for you here today. Jim Harbaugh signs an extension with Michigan. Certainly I have some thoughts on that, but I'm more curious to get your guys' thoughts. We will talk Matt Stafford at the parade. Sawyer will spin some good frat parties out there as well. Eric Weddle. Turns out he put on a performance for the ages. We'll get D-Mac's thoughts and discussion on that as well. I might even ask KJ Wright a little bit about that. Like,
I'm sure he'll have stories.
I've told you.
That'd be a great one just about probably their runs. Even when they won the Super Bowl in the year that they lost the Super Bowl to New England. Yeah, that's the toughest part because everything hurts even more after you lose that final game. You win, it don't hurt that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you do things. You do things like Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford wouldn't hurt that much.
Well, you do things
yesterday.
like Matt Stafford if you lose, too, but it still doesn't sit the right way.
No question about that. But we talk some Jim Harbaugh coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But I told you guys, I slid through there this morning. Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership starts at just $10 a month. You get access to your home club. They have a black card option as well. Access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses worldwide. You get unlimited use of the hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, unlimited guest privileges as well. That's big. You can join today. You're going to pass by the place on your way home because there's one everywhere. So when you pass by it, slide on into the parking lot. You can join right there at the club, or you can go to planetfitness.com as well and join there. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's now one open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Special deal going right now. I think it's going for just 1 or 2 more days, as a matter of fact. $0 down, $10 a month. That'll get you access to that home Planet Fitness. And guys, all that stuff, all those taglines, everything, that's fine. My guy Matt over here on Maple Road in Troy got it on lock over there. I love it over there. It's a part of my day. It's an enjoyable part of my day. Love the club, love the people there. It is. It's a great experience, and that's really the bottom line. That's why I can't recommend them enough, because I do it, I go there, and I enjoy it. So again, Planet Fitness. If you want to get a job, too, in the fitness industry, Planet Fitness hiring all positions. Go to planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
We are off and running. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Talk to KJ Wright of the Las Vegas Raiders. Won Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks coming up in about an hour or so. Happy to have you all with us. Remember, follow Woodward Sports on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, wherever. We out here in these streets, so make sure that you follow us. Just cleaning up the YouTube chat thread. You and Adam talk about Stafford the last 12 months. You can't complain about Olivia. Now, again, she talks about breakups more than I've ever talked about Stafford. And I haven't talked about Stafford. I talk about the draft for the last 12 months, but not Stafford, so get it right. Joey says Neal pronounced charcuterie correctly. What a snob. Jake Wegener says cups greater than napkins. Oh, what do you think about that, D-Mac? Cups or napkins? What's more valuable to the party? I think they're about the same, right?
Cups are more valuable.
You think so?
Yeah, because you can wipe your hands on anything. You can find it around.
That is true.
Cloth, whatever. Like I mean, at the end of the day, when you're getting there, it's tough to drink. You're gonna get caught drinking out of the gallon more. So you need the cup.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Our guy Easy tapped into the YouTube chat thread. A charcuterie board is just a super expensive Lunchable. That's
like 25 of them.
Like 25 of them put together. A guy that could buy.
It's funny because and then the closer on here was Joey 2 times. Yeah, 25, way more than what's allowed in the checkout lane. unless you're the rule breaker, you're quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam says I can't wait till Verona gets work back in. I think the Wings will sneak in. I won't go that high, but I can't wait till Verona. We're going to talk Red Wings coming up in the second hour of the show. I do need my Verona update, and D-Mac will provide it. So, again, we're going to get into it. But Jim Harbaugh signs an extension. He's locked up through 2026, I guess. So as Sawyer would say, you can press your khakis for at least another 4 years and get ready.
My question is there a buyout in there? Right? You know what I mean? To prevent, because what do I always say? Are we going to go through the same Jim Harbaugh Olympics at the end of every season? Right? So to me, I guess it'll be interesting, not so much about what the annual contract is, but is there stipulations into going anywhere, to moving to the NHL, to seeking employment elsewhere, stuff like that. So when that comes out, or if we hear, that's what I'll be interested in.
And I'm curious to know where fans here, especially Michigan State fans, I know we got a couple Ohio State fans that tap into the show regularly. What are they thinking right now? Because the people I know, the Michigan State fans and the Ohio State fans I know, they do. Like they were happy. They were excited.
The most uncomfortable thing is the unknown of not being there. They know what they're going to get with Jim Harbaugh, and he was able to win against one of them, Ohio State, but Michigan State, Mel Tucker still got his numbers. So when you're going up against, I talk about it all the time, when you're still going up against, you have this rivalry, you haven't proven anything yet. On one half you have, on the other half, in the two biggest games of the year that you have to win. And honestly, you're expected to win them both if you're going to be the elite of the Big Ten. No matter which team that is, they should beat the other two teams. Somebody should be 2-0.
And that is the case. No, when you start boiling it down.
Last year was 1-1 though. Everybody was 1-1, right?
It was.
But I mean, to be the dominant species.
I would contend Michigan was 1-2 in real football games.
Well, that's your contention, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about what Ohio State.
Yeah, they
Michigan
all kind of beat each other.
They just look and go, okay, we know what we got to prepare for. Plus, you're looking down. The uncomfortable thing is when guys are leaving, right? Who's going to replace them? And then when you don't know who the head guy is, because if I was Mel Tucker or Ryan Day, I'd be looking down to Michigan going, okay, because if they brought somebody in, then a tree would form. What if it was a tree that they were concerned about? Harbaugh, they're not.
Sure.
I don't feel they are.
No, I don't think they are either.
Just
based on the people that I've talked to.
There's a lack of respect, and there's a to me there's this air of like sort of like I don't know, a joke or commitment or whatever. And I know we saw something different last year, but I don't know if he can consistently do that, because I thought the right thing Jim Harbaugh did was bringing the assistants that was the buffer between the kids and him, which made the message get across. Now, as long as he's got somebody translating the message, maybe. But I think that they're going to have a tougher year against those big games.
Right, but do you know what they do have going for them? The schedule next year. The schedule, and here's, just for those that know, Gatorade, thanks for dropping it in here very concisely. Harbaugh's contract, $7.05 million in base pay next year to $7.6 million by the end. $1 million for a Big Ten title, $1 million for a national championship, $500,000 for a college football playoff bid, a $3 million buyout that drops $750,000 yearly. So, I guess that's about where it should be, right? When you're talking finances, because he's not Nick Saban. He's not. I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but he's not.
See, the bio, I don't think that deters anybody.
No.
Right? That's still the conversation is, hey, if I want to go look next year, okay. Because it's still that feeling that, do we want him back? I don't know. It's the best for the job. There's not like, this is our guy, this is our guy, this is our guy, right? So, I mean, yeah, honestly, isn't the money lower than you thought it'd be? Compared to what Tuck signed for, compared to what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, and there is that too, right? I mean, he's very much less than.
That could be, too, his concession with a foot out the door.
With the buyout. Yeah, I'll drop it if you give me the buyout.
Because I got a foot out the door. How do you know somebody didn't say, or one of these coaches, or even Minnesota or whatever, is we're going to try it this way?
Sure.
But we know where you are. We got your number.
D-Mac loves cups. That's why he has 4.
Well, honestly, I mean, I didn't want to go there. That would be just a little too arrogant on random acts of kindness day. But right there.
It's not what we think. It's what we know. Detroit Dabber says, honestly, bringing ice to a party is a clutch move. Nobody ever brings any. That's factual, by the way. Nobody ever does. So I guess that's my question.
Or booze.
Yeah. That's my question to Michigan fans. If anything, if I'm a Michigan fan, that contract kind of concerns me a little, because of the details that you outlined, D-Mac, does that seem ironclad? Does he seem married to that?
Absolutely.
Does Michigan seem married to him?
No, that just seems on both of them is that, hey, if you find something better, you know what? We're going to help you move on your way. We're going to make it as easy as possible. And the fact that every year that it doesn't, it declines to $750,000. That's, I guess, small in the big picture, but it's not, because it shows you how it's set up. You know enough we deal with contracts enough and stuff like that, and there's incentives. Yeah, the incentives are what they are, but it's just sort of.
And there's not even like a ton.
I mean, hopefully, what this does. Right, that what we'll see and play out is that the money that the $2 million or $3 million, whatever that you think where the money's going around, he'd be around 10, is spread to some assistants that he brings in.
Well, that's how they'll spin it.
I know that's how they're spinning it, but you'll know if that's true or not depending on who they bring in.
Right, and that's the other rub.
If you're like, this is $1.5 million defensive coordinator because whatever, okay.
But do you get the feeling, D-Mac, that
he's not going to be here after next year?
Not even necessarily that. I mean, that could be the case, but do you get the feeling like they're kind of stuck with each other a little bit? And even at the coordinator spot,
100%.
Even at the coordinator spot with Harbaugh, where you look at, he's kind of left with whatever's left over, like the bigger name that kind of didn't have a chair when the music stopped. That's who will be sliding to come in and everything like that.
It seems that way.
You're getting that feeling, and like, am I being a hater?
Here's the thing: when you're all in, like last year, he was committed. The guys that he brought in to change it up, and obviously he had to be. He had no choice to have the year that he had last year. But now it's sort of he's looking at the long game. This is a short game, so I think that he doesn't. To say he doesn't care enough, but his focus isn't there enough, in my opinion. His focus is blight. If last year was 100% on Michigan, now it's 90-10, right? You don't know the conversations. Like, just because a guy didn't get the job, you don't know the conversations that he had out there where it could be something that's the precipice. How many times, have you been told, Neal, something is that we just need you to get more reps or put more time in, and then you get more reps, and you know what you can do, but you got to prove it to somebody else. At the end of the day, the object is I told you so in your head to somebody else, but you still have to do the work.
And Sawyer just put the YouTube chat poll up there. Would you have extended Jim Harbaugh? Yes, no, or I like khakis? So go ahead and get your thoughts in. I don't like khakis, actually. I don't know. I just don't. AC says drama in Michigan while Mel Tucker is recruiting heavy.
Sorry, Corduroy Ken. Corduroy Ken over there doesn't like khakis.
Corduroy Ken. YT Sparty, look at Harbaugh's history outside of this year. Ohio State and Michigan State do like Jim. 9 drinks, 5 years isn't that short. To me, though, 9 drinks, it's the money. Because that's how we keep score, whether you like it or not, and save the I do this job
money.
For save all the I'll do this job for free stuff. That's how we keep score. What do you got, Sam Flannel?
I think the best point you made, Neal, is that Michigan and Jim Harbaugh seem kind of stuck with each other, because I don't think the NFL wants a 58-year-old Jim Harbaugh at this stage. They want the young, innovative coaches, but I also think Jim Harbaugh is the best coach for Michigan, at least moving forward.
That Michigan can get / the Michigan community can deal with / the Michigan community wants to put out there.
Hey, I think he gives them the best chance to win this year, and this year is what I personally care about right now.
Yeah. Libra Trav says 1 and 2 in real games. Really? You're a joke. Okay, give me the big wins. I'll wait. You're gonna push the Nebraska narrative, the tough road environment because it's a night game.
See,
they were 1 and 2 in real games, man. That's a bottom line.
That's facts. My question is to Sam, though. He brings up a good point. Are Michigan fans more committed than their coaches?
Well, probably. I think fans are most of the time
but
more
that
invested.
Can't be the case, right? To be successful. Right, you can't you are focused or whatever, but that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that I saw. I'll be interested to see and to hear coming out of spring camp the things that do we hear the same things that there's no noise, right? If it gets a little bit louder, Neal, then you know it's going south, right?
Right.
If it gets back to more the who's got it better than us. But if the proof's in the pudding by what you said, you don't know the next guy in charge or the next person that they're going to give the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator job to or stuff like this isn't the next greatest thing since sliced bread.
Gator Raider and Sawyer will like this one. It's 2 a.m. and last call. You choose who's left, and that's what it feels like for both of these sides.
Closing time. You don't have to go home.
You play the cards you dealt. You gotta do what you gotta do when it's closing time.
No, that's exactly what it feels like, though. But let me tell you what you're not settling for. MyBookie.ag. There is no settling going on there. MyBookie.ag, one of the very best in the game going right now. And don't forget about the promotions that they have going on. Double your first deposit up to $1,000. Just use a promo code Woodward. Boom, first deposit's doubled. You are ready to roll. If you're like Sawyer in there, you'll probably get everything together and bet it on the Daytona 500 on this weekend. You may as well, though. Come out strong with it. Get in on that action. You're going to watch the Daytona 5 double out anyway, aren't you, Sawyer?
I mean, we'll be in there.
You'll be in. You're going to do some matchup props like Joey Logano v. Denny Hamlin or something like that?
Maybe. I don't know. Might have to tap into it. I've never bet before, so maybe this will be the first time.
This will be the first time. But, hey, they got matchups for the Daytona 500, finishing positions, all of it, anything you want. And that's just auto racing. Don't forget March Madness, less than 4 weeks away. Our guy Stick doesn't have to worry about Detroit Mercy being in March Madness. But you know what? The Oakland Golden Grizzlies, they're looking good to be in there, especially if they got to play Detroit Mercy every single day, which if you had Oakland in the game on, hey, Stick, what's up, man? Talking about my...
Wait a second. Neal, that's a rather large middle finger, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Show that middle finger again. Two of them.
But it was also actually a factual statement as well. But, hey, if you were in the game at MyBookie.ag, you were happy if you had the Golden Grizzlies in that contest. Golf, Masters, the majors coming around. The NFL Draft, you can bet on that also. Anything your heart desires. And the best thing about it, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel. We got Sawyer as well, and some breaking local news going on. I guess that fire over at Oakland Hills Country Club is getting pretty savage right now. As you get a look at the club, yeah, I mean, that's a stunning image right there.
They redid that clubhouse, too.
Oh, D-Mac.
That's Oakland Hills. That's where the U.S. Open,
Ryder
Cups. That's where, like, Stevie belongs and
Coach Campy, yeah,
Drapes, Cleary, Verlander, all the high-name celebrities in this town.
Yeah, even I can't get access to it over there. That's a stunning image.
We were prepping for the show and sort of looked. We saw firemen on the roof, and we thought it was, like, filling the smoke or whatever, trying to determine whether it was the cart barn or the clubhouse. But, wow. You think that's because the membership's bitter about the upgrades, maybe the changes to the golf course?
No, I don't know about all that, but you were talking about the upgrades and everything they did. I mean, they have like heated and cooled greens.
Yeah, well, hopefully this. I mean, not this bad, anyways. It's like this is I don't even know how much, if anybody knows how much that they redid the clubhouse for and stuff like this. But as long as it stays off the golf course, but yeah, they put like millions of dollars into redoing it. Every green has its underground system that they can dry out and
cooling
stuff. So
and all
it's
that
made
stuff
for majors and stuff like that. But the big part of the majors, right, is a clubhouse.
Right.
So
and they were in the process of getting U.S. Open here.
No, they always there's always something that loops through here to that course in a couple of years. I think one of the last things was the U.S. Amateur golf or the Mid-Am. But this is one of the in Michigan. That's the place where they bring the big championships. So hopefully nobody was hurt. At the end of the day, it stinks, but I'm sure they'll survive.
Yep. Yeah, and absolutely. What do you got, Sawyer?
And just doing some digging, I found out that the upgrades that they did had a budget of $12.1 million for the whole project.
And that's just upgrades.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever else. I mean, the silver lining, I'm sure it's insured. And if there is a golf course clubhouse to be burnt, that would burn down, and that the golf course could continue on like nothing happened, would be an Oakland Hills.
Yeah.
Right? Like financially they're set with the members.
They're okay.
They're okay.
They absolutely are. But as you said, just hope that all the people are okay, man. Buildings and stuff can all be rebuilt. That's not a big deal, but just make sure that all the people are right.
We'll find out what happened with that.
Yeah, absolutely. The details, I'm sure, will emerge. But that was a stunning visual, though, right there.
Absolutely.
Well,
it's stunning because when we saw it earlier, we saw like smoke and, like you said, firemen on the roof and stuff like this. So, don't know what happened. Don't know if the befores or afters, but we'll keep you posted if we hear anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where it is. But we're talking Jim Harbaugh right now, the contract extension. Lieber Trav took exception to my comment that Michigan went 1-2 in games that really mattered. Hit me back with the Penn State and Wisconsin. Okay, cool. All those big wins Penn State and Wisconsin have over the last couple of years, right? And Iowa. Yeah, you put Iowa in there too. Yeah, because no one saw that collapse from Iowa coming at all, did they, D-Mac?
Yeah, I mean, you called that.
But it didn't even take anything to call it because it happens every year.
You were deciding who was going to collapse first, Iowa or the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals.
And it was pretty much both at the same time. I'm sorry, man. Like, you're not paying a coach $7.5 million to beat Penn State and Iowa.
Here's the thing. Did we all just not witness what happened in the national championship game, right?
I know, and that's what bothers me about this.
What would have happened to Iowa?
Yeah.
I mean, if you relate it to, I guess, Oakland Grizzly basketball or stuff like this, that's like playing the power, going up against the powerhouse. One season out of this, you might have the perfect storm.
Right.
But you can't consistently maintain it. Right? You look at and Iowa, yes, is a bigger program, but they might come out of the blue, every 10 years? They're just going to be Iowa.
They're just Iowa, dude. Like, that's what they are all the time. Great it's proven. There's years of sample data.
Unis.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be, I guess, next year in a schedule where they have no big games, certainly in the non-conference. And this is a non-negotiable, too, by the way. And I know, because don't worry, D-Mac, I'm setting the table right now. It's, middle of February right now. Because when we get to the end of September, which will be here before we know it, because that's the nature of the beast, and everyone's riding high because they beat Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, Maryland, all at home, and they're 4-0. Yeah, they're 4-0. And everyone will be riding high and everything like that. If they go into Iowa and win, that's a nice win. It's not a big win. It's a nice win.
It's got to put your working boots on, boys. It's not going to be easy, but if we come to work, we're going to win. Right? One of those games, but it's not going to be easy. You know what you're going to get.
Again, it's another. I'll give you when you're at Iowa, it's a game. It's not a big game, but it's a game you got to pay attention to. So I would say that next year they'll have at Iowa, Michigan State, and at Ohio State. They'll have 3 real games.
What
again.
It can do is what Purdue did to Michigan State last year. Right? That's what the Iowas and the Purdues and whatever. You got to be
You can't
ready.
trip.
You can't trip. Right? They're looking at lay booby traps or, put the wire down and trip you. If you are focused and go in there, but that's where the Iowas and the Purdues, and they have the abilities. Wisconsin's, a little bit better than that because they have that consistent, the Hosses, the ground and pounds and stuff like that. That's the consistent there. But still, you look at Wisconsin, right, which is a perennial in the Big Ten that you would say, right, where that if you're going to say that Ohio State, Michigan State, well, Wisconsin's right there as the 4, but where do they on the bigger scale of things?
Right, absolutely. Because it was a blowout, it wasn't real? No, because it was Iowa, it wasn't real. That's the answer to that. YT Sparty. What's hilarious is that Wolverine fans were calling for Harbaugh to be fired after the MSU loss. But again, just kind of like summing it up, for me, it's just it feels like they're stuck with each other, man. That's what it feels like. It is. I think that 2 a.m. analogy is real. Like the lights came on, and they were the only 2 left.
But and then it's how it started, right? It's sort of like the Saviors come home, right? Back 7-8 years ago, whatever, it was supposed to be this. Now it's turned into this. Now he's still got that name and whatever like this nationally that carries over, but again, I believe that between the fans and the university, it is sort of like one of these, I guess we're stuck with it. But they've set themselves up so that, to me, this is look at the contract. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, $3 million buyout. That's not deterring anything. That's not committing anything. I say it to myself. Or like I said to Sam, I said, fans are more committed than I think he is.
Tommy 8 says, Michigan smacked Ohio State and Ohio State smacked MSU. And yeah, that's what it was. And I think that's what it played out to be, it was just that circle. And the timing was going to dictate. They were all pretty much the same. Is that fair to say? Pretty much the same?
Well, they each had each other's strengths and each had each other's weaknesses, right? Where they could, where State played Michigan, exploited that. Michigan played probably one of the best games that they've played under Harbaugh against Ohio State, but they had to. But Ohio State did exactly what they needed to do and abused the secondary of Michigan with the receivers they had. Everything played out sort of the way that we thought it would play out. We weren't really surprised. Some people might have been, Michigan State won, but really a lot of us had Michigan State to win just by the way that they play and the attitude they have going into that rivalry game.
Yeah, and here's a really good one, and I think this is the angle. Pat Rousseau says, recruiting should get better now, though, that the NFL said no to Jim Harbaugh, right? And on the surface, on the surface, Pat, I would say yes, and I would agree with you. However, the numbers tell a different story. And again, that's right or wrong or indifferent. That's how we keep score, is through the money and through the numbers. And with this Harbaugh contract right now, what it tells me, and I'll just put myself in the position if I'm Mel Tucker and I'm sitting in a 4-star recruit's living room right now that's from Grand Rapids. And I'm telling him, and I'm going to say, look, you look at that commitment Michigan made to him and look at the commitment Michigan State made to me. Who do you think has a greater likelihood of being here for the long haul? That's it. That's all I would say to him. That's all I would say. I'm going to be here.
Right,
we don't know what that guy. The numbers suggest DMAC exactly like you put out. The numbers suggest he won't be.
Right, and it's the buyout number, and it's the way that it's delivered and stuff like that. And to your point, right? Here's the thing. You mentioned Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. Out of all those three coaches, we know that Mel Tucker is all in for that program, 100%. Can we agree on that? Right? Ryan Day, he's all in for his Ohio State program, but I got to believe that he's one of the next coaches out of college to get hired pro. Right? So he knows that it's just a matter of time. Jim Harbaugh sort of got the door slammed on him and stuff like this, and it's sort of like, well, I guess, yeah, name, Harb, this and that, and going back to whatever else. So to him, his commitment to me, to the organization, and his future is sort of more in limbo, right? Because he's wishy-washy. He doesn't know if he wants to stay, wants to go, wants to do this, wants NFL. The other two, they know exactly what their game plan is. Yeah. I expect Ryan Day to be around one more year and then gone.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, maybe two. But I think that he's definitely a guy that I would look towards, do a deeper dive on. But I like what he's done with that Ohio State program. And I think getting smacked in the face finally by Michigan a little bit, we'll see the revenge tour. Right, the revenge tour is always the best. Once you got beat down, what are you all about getting back up? So this Ohio State team this year, I got to believe they're in a position sort of like Michigan last year where they got to get back and prove themselves.
Yeah, and for me, though, even if that was the case with Ryan Day, Ohio State's given no evidence to suggest that there would be any fall off anyway. Because we talk about next man up with the players.
That's what I'm saying, but it's also the commitment to the organization. Right. The organization knows, and they're almost like, okay, when you're ready,
I read an interview yesterday in The Athletic with Ohio State's athletic director, and he was breaking it down, and he said, look, we're going to double down on football being successful. We're going to pay a coordinator $2 million. And by the way, too, he said, I see the playoff expanding to 12 teams, and if we have to host, we're going to host them in Indianapolis in the Dome because we want to play real football.
Honestly, though, right? To me, Ohio State out of the Big Ten will be the one that figures out NIL. Just because I think the NIL, the portal, the draft, spending money to get to the top, more like the SEC teams, more like the Alabamas, the Georgias, than anything else. I think Michigan State wants to, but they're behind, right? They're fighting a different fight where Ohio State's already sort of on the hill.
Dave Schultz, this is really good before we get over to Sawyer's Tales from the Folding Warehouse. Dave Schultz says, it's so easy to recruit against Harbaugh. Hi, kids. I got some name, image, and likeness money for you. Ann Arbor won't give you any. Here's where you signed.
But that's what I'm saying. Like as much as we say Michigan won't get with the times, right? You're telling me from what you read and whatever, Ohio State's all in to get with the times, whether it's NIL, coordinators spending money, doing something to be on top. So coming from the boss at the top, they're hot. They're firing at all pins.
No, they absolutely are.
Oh, yeah, they are.
What if you wanted to fire at all pins?
I mean, if you wanted to fire at all pins, I know the place to go to.
We talk about the horn today.
Oh, I can tell you a little something
about
something.
The horn.
I mean, if you're a fan, I like trains. I like trains growing up, I always liked the train horn. Big loud noise it makes. I always wanted to pull a train horn when I was a kid, always a dream. Couldn't be a conductor. And then I went to the Folding Warehouse, and the nice people there, as they were teaching us how to play at our Christmas party, they told us, if you hit the fifth pin right in the middle and don't knock a single pin down other than that one, it's called a plunk. And with that comes a special responsibility. And Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. And you get to go up there and not tell a soul that you're about to pull this giant train horn on one of their, not one, but two bars in the Folding Warehouse. I got to say that. They have two bars. This train horn's on top of one, and you just get to crank that thing without telling anybody. You get to scare the dickens out of everybody. get to have yourself a good laugh. So, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds too good to be true, but it is true. So you're going to have to do it next time you go to the Folding Warehouse. And also, got to play the hits. Got to make sure you hit up that mystery beer machine, $2 in. Random beer out, gives you a hitter every time, guaranteed. I'll guarantee it right now. Sawyer Bench guarantee that you will not be disappointed with your mystery beer. And hey, if there is, you can just shoot me a Venmo request and I'll pay for one of your beers because they have over 100 of them, so you won't be disappointed by the end of your day. You can also bring food in. You can Uber Eats food, have a pizza delivered. Whatever means you want that food to get to the Folding Warehouse, you can bring it in. They won't stop you at the door, tell you, no, you can't bring that in. They'll let you do it, which is real nice. So you don't have to pay for overpriced bar food. And also you can just show up, pay $10, unlimited play all day, throw it to your arms sore. Or if you don't want to deal with the crowd or worry about not being able to play, for around $120, you can rent a private lane for up to 10 people for 2 hours. So you're getting your money's worth. You're having a great time. You're getting to be social with your friends. You're getting to get out of the house, throw some football, get a little taste of football, even though football season's over. And if you pick your day right, you might be able to get to watch the Daytona 500 as you're knocking down some pins. So that sounds good to you. All you have to do is go to thefoldingwarehouse.com. I'll say it one more time. I know Sam was looking at his ear saying, I didn't really catch that, Sawyer. Foldingwarehouse.com, Sam, all right? And it's right in Hamtramck, easy to find. So all you got to do, go online or show up in person. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. We got Neal on the desk, D-Mac on the desk, Flannel Sam making sure we sound good. Or is it Sam Flannel?
Sam
I don't
Flannel.
know, keeping you guys on your toes.
Yeah.
And I'm in here keeping us live. We'll be right back on the Woodward Sports Network.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
No off-season for us. We're talking sports. 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Making our way towards the second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Happy to have you all with us. Sawyer taking some heat on the YouTube chat thread, by the way, for saying, quote, scare the dickens out of somebody.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, boomer.
Hey, I guess I got an old soul or something, just trying to keep it PG on the airwaves.
Absolutely.
Dom Rivera was calling you out, bro.
Yeah, hey.
Rightfully
I'll
so.
I'll take it. I'll wear it.
I got a feeling we've been letting Sawyer spend too time with Uncle Tommy Mazaway, so we got to keep.
Have you been hanging around Tom
keep you
Mazaway?
separated.
No, I haven't yet. Picking up a little Costanza-isms
Yeah,
from him.
there
I'm
it
going
is.
to come in freaking out one day.
Yeah.
Might go see a holistic healer one night. Turn purple. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Sam Flannel in the house as well. He's on brand. Give everybody a look at that flannel you got today.
Beautiful.
There he is. All right. Back on brand. We need to start like a Cal Ripken-esque flannel streak for you.
Oh, do you think I can break that one? I know Cal Ripken's streak is really long, but I got plenty of flannels. Like we said, I got 15, so I could wear one every day for over 4,000 consecutive days.
I want to see that, Sam.
Not quite that many, but close.
You should keep it on the board there.
Yeah.
Days that Sam Flannel has been on brand.
I like it.
I think we should do that. No, but happy to have you all with us here today, wrapping up the Jim Harbaugh discussion. It devolved into what I knew it would, a bunch of, Tucker contract versus Harbaugh losing big games / we played the national champions / you played Pitt that didn't have one of the best quarterbacks in the nation on it, and you played the national champions. That's a very loose term. You showed up. Like they showed up when the ball was kicked and stuff like that. That was a beating, D-Mac. That was a powerless feeling.
Well, it was a reality check, right? And it was sort of like taking the temperature of where you're really at. That's why, in the whole scheme of things, right? If you're an Ohio State fan, this is where you like your spot. Because you didn't have to get embarrassed.
I haven't gotten a D-Mac you like your spot in a long time.
Right, you like your spot. Right, you got something to prove, which you haven't. You sort of been on cruise control a little bit, whatever. So you got beat by Michigan, right? But you didn't get embarrassed, but you also got to see what level SEC really is at. And I think Ryan Day is smart enough to know that. I don't know. Is this the thing that Jim Harbaugh, could it be something that Jim Harbaugh got there, realized that he's got no chance of winning a national championship unless he gets on board with all the different intricacies, the NIL and stuff like this to get up to the powerhouse. And it's just like, too much work or whatever. I'll deal with it, whatever. Let me go find something else. I don't know. But right now, the way the end of the season played out and everything that you're hearing, I'd watch out for Ohio State. They're going to be looking to make a statement. Not only because of losing, not only because they get back on the hill, but because of where their coach wants to go. And if you don't think that was sort of like the first chink in the armor for Ryan Day, right, being in the Big Ten, it was. So how does he respond?
Man, they got next year for Ohio State, they got Notre Dame to open the season. That's a tough game to open the season with.
Well, let's do it, right? So, but in that aspect, I want to see where I'm at, what I'm made of, and I don't mind it because that's coming out with heat, right? You take care of that, and you're just staring at the conference going, yeah, you go ahead, Michigan. Who you playing? Right? All 4 teams don't combine to the talent of Notre Dame. You know what? There's a psychological aspect too.
No, there
right?
is.
Where Michigan will need that 4-0 start for that confidence for moving out because, again, how much is your coach committed?
And look, you want to be fair. They're losing a ton to the draft, to the upper reaches of the draft.
Right, which also, too, to the point about it should be easier for Harbaugh to recruit. Well, his chief recruiting is I send guys to the pros.
Yeah, two first-round picks, borderline 3 first-round picks, depending on where Daxton Hill shakes out. So, yeah, I mean, there is some talent, and there was actual substance with Daxton Hill, too.
No, we can agree with that. If he goes in the first round, right? Somebody sees something that somebody sees something that we see. Just we've seen it more in flashes and more on a huge consistent basis, right?
Scott Klingler says, "Hey Neal, I think the Lions should wait till next year and take a look at the quarterback at Georgia. I didn't see an NFL quarterback on the field in that Georgia game. Let's be easy on that. And I'll say this again. We discussed this yesterday.
He was a red shirt, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The Stetson
Bennett, right?
The 3rd, the 8th.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too.
Straight off of Yellowstone.
I'll back it up and say it again. You guys be prepared for them to take a quarterback with 32 or 34. Be prepared. Be prepared. Because there's a very, very good chance
they're
it
going
happen.
like I said yesterday, if they do go there, it shows which path. I think that the end of the first round or the first round, what they do with these draft picks, who they choose, will show you their direction. They take the quarterback, they're going with the Cincinnati way. Younger guys, longer term, lower contracts against the cap. If not, they're going to pay somebody who you want to pay coming around the corner in a couple of years.
Yeah, no question. I know what path Matt Stafford took yesterday at the parade, and we were all over this yesterday.
Was it a dark or was it a light? Like, was it a silver? Was it an Aho or was it?
It was a light
to kill you for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was no doubt. What was it? An 80-year-old bottle of tequila too, Sawyer?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty.
Oh,
sweet.
you know how smooth that would have been?
I think he had like the what was it, like the Don Julio, like one 1940 or 1950 or whatever it was.
That's pretty sick.
He was getting it in, and certainly there was video, and even the GOAT Tom Brady had to chime in as well. And wow, what a scene yesterday. And you know what? I've told you guys, right? I've been indifferent about the Stafford thing. Despite what you guys have said, what you've thought, what you've claimed, I've been indifferent. Though I did walk away bitter from one angle of this whole Matt Stafford thing, D-Mac, and this is where I'm bitter, is he showed more humanity, moxie, leadership in that parade, a half a bottle of tequila in, than I felt like he ever showed when he was here in Detroit.
Well, it's
talking to the crowd.
To do that on a winning
sure.
stage
and half a bottle in.
And half a bottle in. But what you saw there, I think it was sort of the real Matt Stafford or whatever. And what I loved is just, you know he's having a good time. I mean, I got a hard enough time talking sober. I mean, it's easy to do, but right after that, you got Aaron Donald shirtless behind him, giving him that big bro hug and stuff. Like, these guys were all in together, and it just goes to show you that sometimes that changes scenery, and you can't do it yourself, right? You said leadership of these guys. What you saw there was a team celebrating. It brought back a lot of memories, but that's what it's about. But again, I'm going to revert back to that's playoff winning Matt Stafford. We didn't have that here. You look in the mirror after you accomplish that playoff win people have been telling you years and years and years that you couldn't get. That's where it's at, right? That's where it's at for him. And we saw it. I narrated it to you the whole way. It's because of how he looks at himself, how he carries himself, everything around him. And you can't, a lot of times, it's tough to do it by yourself, right? The biggest thing the Rams had, right, are bigger alphas, right? And the guys your best player on your team is your biggest alpha, Aaron Donald. That says something, okay? Your biggest alpha here in Detroit when he played was your center, Dom Raiola. That doesn't work. Love Dom, but it means it's got to come. And I think it's sort of learned. Leadership that's been learned. You just don't have it. You have to learn. And through what he suffered or what we suffered or what the disappointments throughout Detroit, right? He used that. That's what life's about. Taking advantage of other opportunities, right? I mean, I guarantee the fact that he's led those comebacks in the fourth quarter with Detroit when it doesn't matter at the end of the day, helped lead that comeback at the end. He's been in that position before, and you saw that, making the throws he needed to make. So my hat's off to him.
E. Schaffer says, I enjoyed watching them celebrate. Well, you and dozens of other people in Los Angeles, too. That was an anemic crowd out there. But again, if I lived in LA, if I lived in LA, cool, you won and everything, but it's still it's still 80 degrees today.
About all the transplants and everything we're saying about the Rams. There's the truth to it. Look at your parade.
Yeah,
ours was 1.5 million people.
Sean Belesian's brain aneurysm. Neal, you're wrong about Stafford. He's shown the same amount of humanity if you paid attention for 10 seconds. I guess humanity wasn't the word I was looking for. I don't want to say frat bro-y, but he was real. Like, he was real like everybody else. It wasn't the buttoned up, with the media, all that kind of. It wasn't the same Matt Stafford. That is the one thing that did hurt. I was indifferent about it the whole time. I didn't care the whole time, but that one did bother me a little bit. But not to the point where I'm going to write 3 songs about it and complain about it like Olivia Rodrigo. I am just going to choose to move on. And I'm going to tell you about the sports marketing agency. SMA's been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Coming soon to Woodward Sports, the Sports Marketing Agency podcast. This is The F Word, a series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com. And coming soon to Woodward Sports, a sports marketing agency podcast, this is The F Word, a series on fentanyl.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Neal Rule for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized room, trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all the competition by at least $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, California Tan, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChillerPepperTanning.com, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, and it is your Vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more coming. And Big D Energy will be broadcasting live on Monday from the grand opening of the Berkeley location from 11 to 1 on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile Road. Can't wait to be out there. Chili Peppers Tanning.
Look at guys, I went to it. I've been digging deep, but I knew somebody. I went to the video of Neal Rule today, listened to Olivia Rodrigo, and he was crying, but he was there doing his 4 minutes. Spin Goblin at Planet Fitness. Way to go, Neal.
Hey,
thanks, Easy.
I was getting the work in. Hey, my fitness is essential.
It is essential no matter what you're listening to. So the tears, I mean, you just got to stop listening to that stuff that makes you angry.
I get it, Olivia. He broke up with you. We don't need 3 more songs about it. And stop driving up and down past a guy's house. Now, look, guys are the worst. I said that. I qualified that. Guys are the worst, no doubt. But stop driving up. The quicker you stop driving up and down the guy's street, the quicker you'll get over it. Okay, Olivia? That's my piece of advice for you. We don't need 3 more songs about it.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to be crying when he's already crying because he's got to do cardio. You know it's a cardio day in here because Neal's just not his cheery self. Bringing facts, bringing both things can be true.
Yeah.
I was told.
I was told. No, I was told, though.
No, but we both were told.
No, I was told, though. I was told Matt Stafford had the bottle of Don Julio 1942. So that's what it is. And you know what? When you win, good for you, man. Get it in. Have a good time.
Let me take this back to a story. Is that for I don't know what it was, but when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I won or came across or whatever like this a Dom Perignon, right? Dom Perignon champagne bottle, right? Which is like expensive.
Right.
So pretty much the deal, or my parents got it or something, but it was the deal was when I was 12. If I got drafted, we would crack that at the draft. So to be able to do that, getting drafted to the NHL and cracking that, drinking that with the whole family, that's sort of like, he'd probably been waiting on that for a minute.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the thing. Because I don't know how much that for it, but it's got to be,
Yeah, it's a couple $100 bottle at least.
I got to think it's probably more than that if it's classy. Probably. I don't know.
2, 3,
Again,
$400
I'm out of
bottle?
that game. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
not a tequila guy, so I don't know. I'll do the Patron Silver if that's what the room calls for.
Right, the silver. That looked dark.
Yeah, I know.
That looked like it hurt. That hurts.
I'm not about that dark tequila
hurts.
life.
Dark hurts. Stick to gypsy.
Dark hurts. Stick to gypsy. Rack says Krabby Neal equals legs day. No one does legs. Who does legs? Like when you run and do the bike, isn't that legs?
I just love the term leg day. Krabby when he has to do leg.
Joey 2 times says, let's give Neal the hiss of shame. Go ahead, go for it. But Matt Stafford, he doesn't deserve the hiss of shame after his performance. It's just, and look, like we're joking about this. We're not doing the Stafford Hall of Fame thing. And I know that there's a bunch of you that say, no, we're not doing the Stafford thing. We're not doing it like that. We're kind of having some fun with it. For those of you that missed it, Sawyer's got the video footage, and listen to Matt Stafford addressing the crowd.
At the same time, I'm damn happy to be standing up here with you guys celebrating this. Come on. Let's go, y'all. I'm going to bring us a little Southern hospitality to this. I appreciate y'all so much. You guys have been unbelievable. Unbelievable all year. And you know what? We appreciate you. Let's go.
That was a pretty healthy rip.
That was a trip. You know what that was? Because if you saw the tweet by Tom Brady that said, hey, he said, Matt, you might want to mix in a little bit of water.
Yeah.
You know what to say? Mix in a water, Matt. Trust me. But did you see the shout out to? We're going to see Matt Stafford.
Tom Brady getting involved.
We're going to see Matt Stafford, I'm sure, on Jim Gray, Larry Fitzgerald, Tom Brady's Let's Go podcast. That's what it was. And I hear from our great audience, Big Play Jay says a 1942 Don Julio, about
150, $200.
150. But that was probably the coolest, right? Where Matt Stafford was. Where's that guy? But that's what winning does. Trust me.
And there are the dozens of fans in Los Angeles that couldn't wait to get a look at what was going on with the parade. It's a good thing they had the barricades out.
Yeah, it is. But my question is, I saw this picture and that made me think. Would you rather have nobody at your parade like this, or would you rather be the Braves and do 55 through downtown?
Look at this. Is that not just hawking it down the thing? You can't even see a guy. I'd rather have no people.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have no people too. Like,
Don't
I'd be
matter if
scared
you
if
got
I was
Don
on top
Julio.
of that bus.
That was a healthy rip, though, that he took. You got to, and look, Sawyer, you're a resident frat guy,
Yep.
right? Recently graduated from college.
Yep.
We're about the frat life, total frat moves, all that kind of stuff, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
We weren't like out seeking for total frat moves, but I guess it just comes with the territory.
Did you ever
right?
take any rips out of the Don Julio bottle like that?
No, not a big tequila guy. Went for the gypsy more though, or like moonshine. That's my. If I'm drinking some spirits,
I'm not a
I'm
tequila
going
guy.
moonshine.
I'm going straight to the moonshine.
Oh,
My
yeah.
buddy Peanut over in Kentucky, his grandpa had a still, right? So he's just drinking straight fire water.
Old
That's how we
Smokies.
do it in the frat house.
Old Smokies Distillery, man. Apple pie flavored moonshine, best on the market, 100%.
I will say this, and this is a really good one here on our YouTube chat thread. Joey 2 times, drunk Stafford greater than drunk Brady. And I'll give him that.
Oh,
100%.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? Kudos to Matt Stafford, right? Like, good for him to let loose, if that's letting loose, because he looked
No doubt.
comfortable.
No doubt.
Right? He looked comfortable. And like I said, the big thing is you look at the team and you look at the guys on stage and you look at the embrace. And to me, it's what they mean to each other. Why not? Today is random acts of kindness. We're going to randomly act kindness and say, Matt Stafford, way to be you, bud. Congrats.
No, absolutely. So, yeah, nobody came to the parade. But that's fine. They still got it in. Matt Stafford still had a good time. The Rams had a good time. And that, you know what? Good for him, man. I am actually, now that it's over and he got to do a celebration, I want people to be happy. D-Mac, you know that. I want them to be happy.
Absolutely. This is where we're at. And it's got to, and I know where you're at, Neal, because it's like, that's the guy, we could have had that here, right? We could have had that here. And I think that's where people are looking sort of at that, because where was that Stafford? What is the Stafford? The Stafford, it seems like if he's comfortable right there in that atmosphere and stuff, and when we hear him interviewed back when he played here, always trying to say the right thing. There, didn't really care what he said. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference as an athlete. And winning does that.
Everyone's talking about Sawyer's moonshine right now in the YouTube chat thread. They're asking, did you have a still in the frat house? Did you stay in an apartment or the frat house?
I stayed in the frat house for 2 years and then had our own place my senior year. So
Oh,
6
really?
dudes in a house. Yeah.
Why is that?
That's just like kind of how Butler did it. Like, seniors didn't live in the frat house. We just they called them senior houses.
So you guys were above it.
No, it's just like not.
No,
how
you
it
were
is,
above
'cause
it.
We rush.
So you were like snooty frat guys.
If you want to go that way, I guess, yeah. But I mean, freshmen rush in second semester instead of first semester, so they don't get freshman year of living in the house. So the seniors move out, so the kids who got in freshman year can live in the house for 2 years.
As sophomores?
Yeah.
So you do sophomore and junior year in the house.
Yep. And then you get a senior house your senior year.
Then you're
like
above
you
it.
technically could live in your
Then you're
senior year,
above it.
but people would be like, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah,
Like,
because you're above it. Why are you
Yeah.
hanging out down with us riffraff?
Did you have a still in the frat house?
Did not have a still in the frat house, but there are a decent amount of mason jars in my room. Not gonna lie.
People are saying I would drink moonshine too, but I don't enjoy my insides being liquefied.
Well, see, like that's why you don't get the one that's called Blue Flame or whatever. It's called White Lightning. Like, that's the pure moonshine one that they sell at Old Smokies. We went down there for formal.
That's what Tickle makes.
Oh yeah, we went down there for formal, and we got a jar like the Blue Lightning or Blue Flame and drank that, and it just felt horrible after. So we were like, well, we got to counter this somehow. So we went back to the distillery, and they had the apple pie one. Then we drank that, and we were like, okay, now it's better.
See,
It was
now
fine.
here's the deal, and here's where I'll go kind of moonshine elite, which I know you guys are waiting for this.
Oh, of course we were.
Detroit Dab, and this is legitimate. You guys, I'm opening myself up to criticism here, and it's fine, but I think that you'll respect it. Detroit Dabber 313 says, yeah, Old Smokies commercialized knockoff moonshine. If it's in a store, it's not moonshine. And I would say this. So my mom's side of the family is from Tennessee, like East Tennessee by the North Carolina border, like in the mountains. So they do have a still. They do make it. And I went down there when I was 18 or 19. We had like a big family reunion, and I went down there and got
So if anybody saw your Valentine's Day picture to your wife, who's your girlfriend, sort of that.
It was
Neal
in that,
role,
yeah. It was in,
in
yeah. You saw
Neal
that,
role
yeah.
there?
It was in
I
that
love
time
that
frame.
picture, by the way.
Yeah, it was in that time frame. But I went down there, and my great uncles, my mom's uncles, my great uncles, they made it. Like, that's what they did before they came up here to work in the car factories. Like they were moonshiners. That's what they did. They ran the moonshine. So they gave me a jar of it to take back to I lived in an apartment with the guys. There were 3 of us in the apartment. It was kind of the same story. You have furniture you don't care about and all that. We got an old wood coffee table. So I get home and we set it down on the coffee table, and we're talking about it, laughing about it, and we're going to drink it and stuff like that. So I undo the jar so the guys can get like a smell of it. And my one buddy comes over to lean in to get a smell of it, and he kind of knocks the table, and some of it falls off the jar, and it stripped the varnish off the table around the jar. Like it stripped the varnish.
Yeah.
Like within 10 seconds.
Yeah, so you still drank it?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, we did. What did you think we were going to do? We went the Mountain Dew route with it. That was a different time in my life. But that's how you can tell. If your old smoky moonshine, if you knock it out of the jar and it falls on the table and the varnish isn't stripped, then guess what?
If it melts varnish, then it's real good. That is the Neal Rule way. Well, you know what doesn't take the varnish off your table or make you have to mix? I know football season's over, guys, and it's going to be a little bit of doldrums. We're going to try to turn you on to NASCAR and stuff like this, but irregardless, you need your haircut. And Lady Jane's, easy like Sunday morning. Get the Lady Jane's haircuts for men. You walk in, you relax, you watch your favorite team play. Yes, TVs in every mirror, right where you sit. You can get the King's treatment, the head massage, whatever you want. It's all about you. Before you know, your hair will be game ready. You will be groomed to perfection. So get the Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, D-Mac here, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, Sam Flannel, Sawyer here in the house as well. And Jake Wegener says 2 stills is greater than 2 furnaces. Mike G says the rules of Hazard County. It's similar.
Yeah.
No, where my mom's family's from, it's similar to that. It is.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just
Crazy cooter.
No, it is similar to that though. But it was a great story, man. The people that were people that know, they know. They want to know if it was hard outrunning Roscoe, Enos, and Boss Hogg. Yeah, I had to jump the creek.
Has nobody ever heard Neal's phone ringer? It's
yeah. Just a couple minutes away, KJ Wright will join us. Played for the Las Vegas Raiders this year, won the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, lost the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks in pretty excruciating fashion. But we'll take a look at the NFL playoffs with him as he saw it, as somebody that was in there, and we'll ask him about that too, man. They had the ball in their hand with a chance. You forget, and D-Mac, you know this, you and I have talked about this, people forget, as great as the Red Wings were even, fortune had to smile on you a couple times. I always go back to the Nick Lidstrom goal at Vancouver from center ice, where things weren't going too well up until that point.
No, we were down 0-2 with the Hall of Fame team and had to go into Vancouver. Like, it's one thing to be down 0-2, but it's one thing to lose both games at home, having home ice. So, yeah, in the hockey, you need great goaltending, you need puck luck, and you got to stay healthy. So, I'm sure there's some similarities in football, but why not talk to a guy that's been there and suffered the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in that?
And right now, as promised, we are joined by KJ Wright. Spent last season in the National Football League with the Las Vegas Raiders, longtime Seattle Seahawk as well. Has won a Super Bowl, has lost a Super Bowl, and we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs with him. And KJ, appreciate your time, man. First off, how you doing, man? How you recovering from the season?
What's going on, fellas? Doing well. I'm recovering pretty good. I always take a month off. I don't do anything. I hang out with my family. I don't lift any weights. And so I'm living the dream right now.
And, absolutely. But KJ, you know, we've talked a lot on our show here as the NFL playoffs have gone on. The legacy of the NFL playoffs. And if you look at what happened, even say with an Aaron Rodgers, who's a multiple-time MVP, the nature of the winner-take-all, the one-game format, where if you win, you're the next great thing. And then when you win a Super Bowl, you have to get back and win more. But when you lose on the flip side of that coin, and KJ, you know, Aaron Rodgers' legacy in public perception has somewhat suffered, has somewhat taken a hit by what's happened in the playoffs as of late. As a player, what about that, man? Because you guys play the ultimate stakes. It's one game, it's one and done, and your legacy is celebrated, it's tarnished, it's all that with one game.
And I believe it should be. You look at the NFL, and while we come into this game, you come into this game for one reason only, and that's to be at the top at the end of the season. And so to have a phenomenal regular season is cool. To be MVP is cool. But we are judged by getting that Lombardi trophy. And so I believe that's the way it should be. We don't have the luxury of having a 5-game series. It's one time, get it done, and at the end of the day, we're going to see who's the best.
You know what? Talking to KJ Wright, obviously came on. I'm a big defense guy, Legion of Boom. What you guys did back there. I'm going to turn this from Aaron Rodgers to a guy who is beloved here in Detroit, Matt Stafford, and what he just accomplished with the Rams. Now, you've been on the field, right? You've been in this league. So you're the guy to go to and say, is there a difference between the Matt Stafford that was in Detroit and the Matt Stafford that we saw win a Super Bowl, and what would that be on the field?
No, it was the same guy. It's the same guy on a clearly better team. You look at the Rams and what they had. They had everything that they wanted except for at the quarterback position. And so when I saw Matt Stafford go to the Rams, he simply accomplished everything they brought him in there for, from getting him the Super Bowl. And what I loved about him was he, in the fashion that he got in, that 2-minute drill to win the game. And so he's the same guy. He was in Detroit. He was always talented, always had the utmost respect for him. But you just put him in the right environment with the right coach, and they got the trophy.
Hey, KJ, talking to KJ right here. Follow him on Twitter at KJ_Wright34. But KJ, you know, kind of tying those two discussions together, right? The legacy, the Super Bowl, what Matt Stafford did, and things like that. You know intimately. You have been on the side where you have won. You have lost in excruciating fashion in another one. That is how fine the line is, though, because with that one win with Matt Stafford, and we've talked about it a lot here in Detroit, certainly, but now he gets discussed in those circles. Now the discussion is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? Now can Matt Stafford get a gold jacket? That's the beauty of it. That's the excruciating part of it. That's all that with the NFL, with the Super Bowl and all that stuff. To the victor goes the spoils, right?
Right. I believe now Matt Stafford he can sit at the table. He can sit at the table with the big dogs. And it's cool to have, you know, top 10 in passing and get into the playoffs. But the elite of the elite, they have to find a way to get there and finish the deal. And so, you know, hats off to him. Hats off to the Rams for putting that team together, because they had everything it took, and they got to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And as you saw, they couldn't quite get it done. And so for them to put that team together in the fashion that they did is pretty impressive.
KJ Wright, our guest here. So, KJ, talk about it. You guys were on the field with the Cincinnati Bengals, who obviously went to the Super Bowl, and we were talking about how thin that line is. You guys had the ball at the very end of that game with the chance to score a touchdown to draw even. Ultimately, the Bengals did go to the Super Bowl. What about that Raiders team? I know you signed a one-year contract with them, but, you know, as you recreate that game, as you create that season, and certainly the Raiders went through a lot. Some of it self-inflicted, some of it externally, all that kind of stuff. But you guys certainly went through a lot. And Darren McCarty and I talked about this during the season, how you guys were able to turn that, because in my mind, I said these exact words. I said, Darren, man, you look at what the Raiders have been through. There's no way. There's no way that they can circle the wagons from this and get into the playoffs. How did you guys do that?
It was not easy. I could tell you that. Just seeing the things that we had to deal with, the things we had to overcome. It was something that I've never had to deal with in my NFL career, and I've been going on 12 years now. And I just have to give credit to the leadership and the character of the men in the building, starting with our head coach, Rich Bisaccia. He got us all in line. He addressed things that we need to get better at. And Derek Carr and myself, we like, hey guys, we can literally find every excuse in the world to lose the rest of these games, or we can just take this season and just find a way to win these last 4 games again in the playoffs. And so it definitely was a test that we had to overcome, and we got it done. And hats off to everybody in that building for making it to the playoffs.
That was so cool. And obviously you mentioned the head coach who has moved on and stuff, but then you see through social media and all the letters addressed to him from you players and stuff, how much he really felt. My question to you, because you started off the interview, and this is as a former athlete, I ended up playing 15 years, and you said you've played 12, so you mentioned you'd take a month off. But my question is, what would you tell the younger KJ Wright and some of these younger guys as far as, this NFL, it's a beast and everything that you do, but going back as far as what would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know with all the things that you've gone through, even, right, forget on the field, that off the field issues, because it's about people. So do you have any wisdom for your younger self?
So there's so many things I would have done differently. I believe that with the younger guys, you got to understand that your body is your temple. I asked guys throughout the season, I was like, when the last time you got a massage? They'd be like, well, I don't even get a massage. So I'm like, start getting at least 2 a week, because, your body is your temple. And just what you put in your body, the nutrition. I hired a nutritionist a few years ago. It changed my life. And so just being smart off the field, it's just, you can be great on the field, but it's a holistic approach that you have to take with this game. Network with everyone in your community, and just, it's a holistic approach that you got to take to make a long career in this league.
Best thing about being a Las Vegas Raider?
I would say the fans, man. Just seeing I was in Seattle all my years, great fan base, but it's different when you see that silver and black. Just got that the black and silver face paint, and just super passionate group of people. And so I wish I had the opportunity to play in the black hole. I was asking Derek, how was that place? He absolutely loved it. And so I wish I had the opportunity to play there, but to go to Vegas and to see the other side, it was really cool for me.
Awesome. Talking with KJ Wright. You can follow him on Twitter at KJ_Wright34, Super Bowl champion with the Seahawks. Just wrapped up his season with the Las Vegas Raiders. And KJ, before we wrap things up here with you, and this kind of piggybacks on what Darren was talking to you about, and the discussion right now, Aaron Donald, that's been floated out there, is he going to look at retirement and those types of things? I talk about this with Darren a lot. You've put your time in the league. There is no question about that, judging by your performance. So you still got some time to go. But what about it? What about that process? How do you internalize that? How do you determine when is the time to walk away? When do you start having those discussions, I guess, with yourself, right?
Yeah, for me, I told myself that if you have to go through another surgery, it's time for you to go, because I've had shoulders, knees, wrists, broke my foot. My body has been through a lot. And for a lot of guys in this league, the unfortunate part is you don't get to decide when you want to walk away. A lot of guys, whether it's through injury, whether it's through the organization saying, hey, you're not good enough, you're too old, it's time for you to go. And so I believe that on the other side, it's hard. It's hard to say goodbye to a game being played since you were a kid. And so, like I said, it's important to prepare while you're playing, network with people, see what else you love outside of football, so when that day does come, because it's going to come for us all, that you can make that transition a little more smoother.
Well, KJ, I'm going to say, okay, let's say you got 3 years left and you're starting to think about that or whatever else. What is it, something that we can look forward to, KJ Wright? What is there other passion out there in the game of football? Listen, all my brethren, guys I won all the cups with, they're back with the organization, the Red Wings, trying to get it back right. They'll get it back right. But have you thought about this and what you might want to dabble or get into?
Yeah, most definitely. I know for me that I want to stay around the game. I love football with every bone in my body, so I want to stay around the game. And I love talking sports. I love building something special. Like when you say going back to an organization, building something, making sure the culture is right, bringing the right guys in the building, getting the wrong guys out the building. And so that's something that I can definitely see myself doing. But at the end of the day, I know it's going to be, around the game of ball.
All right. Well, KJ, we certainly do appreciate your time. Real quick before I let you go here, you played your college football at Mississippi State from Mississippi, the heart of SEC country. Here in the Big Ten country, we've had our run-ins with the SEC, and it hasn't gone very well for the most part. Does it just mean more in the SEC, KJ?
Fellas, have you guys been to a game? Have you been to an SEC game?
Not down there. I need to, though. I know it is different.
Where should we go if we're going to go see one SEC game? Like, which stadium would like to get that experience you're trying to, or a couple?
One of the best stadium that I've been in was Auburn. That place was absolutely rocking. So I would say go to the Iron Bowl if you get a chance. And I've never experienced it, but just playing in that stadium, just seeing a rivalry like that, is gonna be pretty special. So put that on your bucket list, make it happen. And the SEC is crazy.
All right, well, KJ, again, man, we appreciate it. Maybe we'll reach back out as the NFL draft gets closer, get you back on, get your thoughts on everything, what that process is like. And great talking to you, my friend.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, KJ Wright, we just finished up his season with the Las Vegas Raiders. Part of that staple, the Legion of Boom with the Seattle Seahawks as well. So appreciate his time. Big thank you, too.
He's got a future.
I think he's going to be okay in the sports media game.
He's got a big first year in this game.
He's going to be all right in the sports media game. There is no doubt about that. Big thanks to NEH Hoffman for setting that up with KJ Wright. We'll get him back on for sure when that draft comes rolling around. Because he's the story, right? 4th-round pick, made good.
He knows what it is.
He knows what it is.
To go back to his story, earned his spot.
Yeah.
A young Pete Carroll, young Legion of Boom and stuff like this. He's a guy that I've always, that all those linebackers, the KJ Wrights, the Cam Chancellors, the
You'd have
Bobby
been a
Wagners.
linebacker, wouldn't you?
Probably. I might have wanted to try to be a safety. I would have thought I was fast enough to be a safety.
You weren't fast enough, D-Mac.
I bet you
no,
I was.
I know. I've been on the softball field with you.
I bet you I was.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Small burst.
Absolutely. We'll take a break when we come back. I do want to talk about the Red Wings a little bit, as a matter of fact, because, playing the Rangers tonight, the Verona situation, I want to ask D-Mac if he's heard anything new about that whole dealio. I want to get his input, too, now that we've got a little bit of sample size, too, on my guy. On my guy, Zadina, playing up with the front line. So we'll discuss. It's time to check in a little bit with the Red Wings. Cintron World's an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand, a line of sparkling, flavored, energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, proud partners with the Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and let's be real, everybody, it's got to taste good, Cintron is the top choice. You can buy online at cintronworld.com with the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back on and popping here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Sawyer, Sam Flannel. Clomp Sauce has big game against the Blue Shirts tonight. And, Red Wings and the Rangers. And before we get into, I'm not going to break down the Rangers here tonight or anything like that. Dylan Larkin was in the news. The third Red Wing in 25 years to have 25 goals and 25 assists in the team's first 50 games. And D-Mac, look, I had some question marks. You reaffirmed those. You said they were valid question marks when the season started. The answer is yes to every single question. When you start throwing out stats like that, and look, for me, D-Mac, I've always said it, be a point-a-game guy. Be a point-a-game guy.
Right.
And 25 and 25 in 50 games, and you're only the third Red Wing. And you look at all the cats that have run through the Red Wings organization in the last 25 years. To be on that short list is damn impressive. The problem is the price keeps going up. You know me, right? Like that's the problem. But you want it that way.
Here's the thing. That money for the price going up was already saved by Stevie wanting him to go get your money. Here, kid, here's the bag. It's dependent on how big the bag is on you. What is becoming apparent in this season with the NHL for the Detroit Red Wings, it's about the individuals. Last year, I told you, pick a guy that you think you can root for. This year, you're finding guys, grab your jerseys and rooting for it. Individually, you're going to look, and there's going to have some guys with some career years, right? Or guys that are doing this, that are bringing up records that haven't been in 25 years because they're doing the job, right? It's still building. As a team, they're not there. That's the next step. But the biggest, I always love it when your guy, right, the Funky Coles Zadina, right,
I like
got
that
away for the Verona to come back. So my Verona, Funky Coles Zadina. We got the Funky Coles Zadina and my Verona. We got them coming back. So here's the thing: as you start seeing videos of Jacob Verona on the ice getting ready, the bottom line is he's not going to come back before he's ready, whatever a small setback, this or that. But until then, it's giving other guys opportunities. What I liked the other night is the Smith brothers. Mentioned it first since 1969, pair of brothers on the ice for Detroit. That's going good. Now, big game tonight against the Rangers. Again, the Rangers are one of the top teams and playing really well. They got Chris Kreider, who's, power play goal extraordinaire. They got the bread man and Panarin. So these are all tests, but you want to continue to go. I haven't heard anything. I will do a little bit more. It's time to do a little bit more digging because we were told after the All-Star break, Verona would be back. So, I would expect, barring a setback,
soon,
the end of the home. And you're probably, there's two ways of thought, right? You started on the road, there's less pressure or whatever like this, but depending where it is, I'd start this kid at home. No matter what. The bottom line is you want to be 100% healthy.
Gotcha.
So it's a year, Neal, at the end of it where they're not going to make the playoffs, but you're going to look at stats and go, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh this guy, this guy,
D-Mac, that's where it is, because I was thinking about this today. When I was doing the cardio, I was actually thinking about this. Spent about a mile on it, as a matter of fact. So, it wasn't just a passing thought.
I can run for miles and miles.
But here's where it is for me, I think we're in pretty much lockstep there. There's just too much ground to make up for the playoffs. I have already, barring a total epic collapse, which I don't, they don't have the fabric to collapse, like a total epic meltdown collapse. It's been a success.
Yeah.
For real. Like, I've already penciled that in. It's February, man. We're going to go till the end of March. They pretty much are what they are, and it's pretty much what I wanted to see because I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. I expected them to be, I hoped that they would flirt. I guess flirt's the word. That they would flirt. They flirted with it. They flirted with it for a little bit, but
you're getting, the payoff is so much greater for the individual success by these guys, and to the same reason of confidence. Matt Stafford winning the playoff game, looking in the mirror, these guys putting the stats up. Once they're confident in their individual ability and the roles that they play, then they'll play even more for each other. It's not they don't want to play for each other because you see every scrum, every whatever like this, they're all in together. It's learning and being disciplined and committing to being that piece of the puzzle. I would relate it to in football where you're the end and no matter what, you can't dive down. You got to take the sideline away and force the guy back inside. Well, somebody gets a little horny, right, and jumps down, and then the guy beats him wide, and there's the play because the discipline of doing your job, wasn't there. When everybody does their job individually for the end. And that's what next year's for. And that's why after this year, when we're talking about it leading up to the draft and stuff like that, hopefully we'll get more of a semblance in the direction we're going to go, because that would be the time for all you is Blashill the guy, get Blashill, whatever, is that a move would be made. So if a move's made before the draft with somebody because Stevie thinks that it's better, that's something that I would expect.
Yeah.
But right now, the next big thing is Verona coming back.
And that's a great point, too, because the Blashill and the Dan Campbell thing, I think, are similar. But I always use this analogy. You guys hear me do this all the time, right? If you're driving up north, the Red Wings car with Blashill is just over the Zilwaukee Bridge, and it's headed up towards Standish. The Dan Campbell is just past Great Lakes Crossing going up towards Flint. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same car, same highway.
Where's Troy Weaver?
Well, I'm talking about the coaches. I mean, as far as Troy Weaver goes, you know, as far as Troy Weaver goes, you know, it's probably similar. I think that the GM situation's probably pretty similar. You know, in that, you know, you had your number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
He flipped the whole thing in a year. Little tougher in the NBA, I think it's fair to say.
When we talk about it, the analogy of the Lions getting their quarterback. So if you use that analogy with the Pistons got their quarterback.
Right.
They got their Joe Burrow. They're all set.
Car's packed.
The car's packed.
Yeah,
exactly. We're not picking anybody up on the way.
No, yeah, right? The car's packed. They're in there, like I said. Yeah. They're going past the old Palace right now, or the old Silverdome. But the car's packed. They're ready to go. It's the trip is so new. The kids aren't even on their electronics yet. Like, you haven't caved and let them use the iPad yet, because you know you need that for the last 2 hours to save your sanity. So you're trying to battle. Like
So are you giving Blashill, to your analogy, from the Zilwaukee Bridge to the Mackinac Bridge?
I'm giving him to Standish when 75 splits with 23.
Not even West Branch?
Yeah, you know, when 75 splits with 23. Because you got to decide.
West Branch is a little bit further, so I guess the tether is being drawn in
a little bit. It's not DEFCON 5 or anything, just like it's not with Campbell.
Is he safer than he was this time last year?
Yes.
Yes.
Today he's safer than he was at this point, like with me. But I mean, it doesn't matter with me. But he is just in that. Because it was and look, I shoot you straight. I'm never.
It was unwatchable.
Yeah, it was unwatchable.
And the guys are hurt, and nobody's going to be here.
They couldn't score. No, and look, it's a little bit different with me. It's a little different with me. Yeah,
the collapse they can't this year is because they can put the puck in the net.
They can score this year, and that's where it is all right with me. You know, as we take stock of it. So. You know, we're kind of going across there right now. Mr. Poole says it would be a nice birthday present for them to pull off a win tonight. Well, Mr. Poole, happy birthday anyway. Even if they don't come through, as I looked at it on my bookie, the Rangers minus 210 favorite. So it's not looking good.
Madison Square Garden, it's always the oldest barn out there, and it's funny because have you been to Madison Square Garden?
You know what? I have not.
So you got to walk. So you got to walk up the ramp, the bus ramp, but everything's sort of up. It's like really weird, but it is so cool. I always get enamored walking through the hall, right to the dressing room, because everybody who's performed there, from wrestling to musicians to whatever, boxing, way back when. You get caught, you'll spend 30 minutes like a museum.
Yeah, awesome. No, I understand that for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's where I am. I guess the part B of it, DMAC, we'll do that on the other side of the break, I think. I think we'll do the part B, because I did have a second question about the Red Wings that I did want you to address. And yes, it's dependent, and it's about my guy Zadina, because I want to know, and I got what I asked for, what I've been asking for with Zadina, and I want to get D-Mac's take on what he's seen from it, and we'll do that on the other side.
But you know what? Tonight, you might have a gladiator battle if you got Ryan Reeves, tough guy for the Rangers, and our boy Giovanni Smith. I know that I'll be watching, and who's got my back watching too, and yours too? Guardian Alarm. Yes, they get it. Your local security experts. No matter for your home, your business, whatever else, they're starting to do some great stuff with schools and things. Guardian Alarm is where it's at when it comes to a great defense. The best part? You can monitor anything that you need all from your digital device. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whether you want to turn the lights on, turn the lights off, whether you want to turn the temperature up or down, Snowmageddon's coming again, I hear. So you might
I've been told.
You might want to turn one of your 2 furnaces up. You can even, if you're Neal Rule, you can use the top level furnace or the basement furnace, whatever you want. And even if you were Guardian Alarm, Oakland Hills today on fire, they would have detected it. Yes, fires, and even that deadly silent killer, carbon monoxide. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network family, you can be, but I need you to call. What are you going to call? This number. Listen here. It is 1-800.
Stay out.
1-800.
Stay out.
For everybody on Woodward, because it's getting a little crappy out here, the weather, so they need it, Sam. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Stay away from Sammy Flannels, all 15 of them. Making his streak. Yes, call 1-800 Stay Out today. That's 1-800 Stay Out. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Woodward Sports Network, D-Mac Neal Rule. Be right back.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Sam Flannel, we got Sawyer as well. If you missed our conversation with KJ Wright, very entertaining guy, KJ Wright. Good conversation with him, former Super Bowl champion. Someone earlier asked in the chat thread, was he the one that batted the fumble out of bounds? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. We'll get him back around the NFL draft. I'll sneak that one in on him. So he admitted it, though. He admitted that he intentionally knocked it out of bounds.
Doesn't he seem like a stand-up guy to whatever else, like behind, like he's going to, I'm sure he's one of those, he's like me, where he's going to tell you, like, oh, no, this is the way it really was. And it's interesting when you hear somebody that's been out there that they say, no, say Matt Stafford, just surrounded by somebody else, where he didn't have to be the alpha.
And that's, that's players talking, too, yeah.
That's the whole thing. You're talking about, Aaron Donald or whatever like that. You can see the reverence that certain players.
He did put a lot of respect on his name.
That's what I'm saying is that dude, OGs respect OGs. That's what it is right there, and there's 2 of them.
People talking about the Red Wings playoff chances. They are 8 points behind Boston for the last wild card spot, but Boston does have 3 games at hand. Boston's played 47 games. The Red Wings have played 50. Columbus at 47 points. Again, they've also only played 47 games as well. The Islanders have only played 43, and they're 10 points behind the Red Wings and 18 points behind Boston. So no,
it's not happening.
It's
so
not
let's build and see what we've built
Yeah.
on. And it's almost one thing is that the inconsistencies, the frustrations game to game. So you almost got to take it in a 2 or 3 game period, right? You come, you go out. I go Saturday night. You watch them at home. They play a great game. They beat the Flyers and stuff like this. Then they go to Minnesota. They get off to a great start, but you're tested and say, oh, okay, we're really not that close. The Minnesota Wild are like the Carolina Hurricanes of the West, right? They compare each other. They're a great team to see where you're at, right? The Carolinas, the Nashvilles, the Minnesotas and stuff like this. So to me, you're more seeing development of players, right? Seeing what guys can do or can't do and who is deserving, or who is Steve Eisman seeing deserving of either another contract or another look or an opportunity. And that's what you're getting here. You're going to see that with defensemen in and out of the lineup, some of the forwards in and out of the lineup. Obviously, Verona coming back. You mentioned it too. You saw a switch up, which I liked with Funky Kozadina going
Yeah,
on the top
and give
line.
it to me, D-Mac. Like, you break it down for me, because that was a big moment.
Confidence.
And look, for me, you guys know where I stand with Zadina. I needed to see more. D-Mac's even said that. He needed to see more from him. And that was something that really caught my eye, because that tells me that management's saying, all right, here you go.
You've
Here's
earned
Dylan
it.
Larkin.
You don't get it given to you. You're usually going to do that to try to go. And you could see this if you heard Dylan Larkin talking about. Now, what's the one thing, right? Zadina's shot on the side of the net, right? Power play, waiting for the shot. A lot of times in this league, right, when you don't, as I showed you on the YouTube channel.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Right, what are you doing? Moving right to left. What created that goal? Dylan Larkin's speed, but Zadina coming up, moving left to right to left, changing the angle. The kid can shoot, the kid can score. Do I think that he's snake bit a lot of the times? Yes, I've seen him rip it off the post, but when he's moving and creating, that's when he's natural, and it comes to confidence with him. You hear it when Dylan Larkin says, I just told him to go out and have fun. You hear Philip Zadina in his interview. Let me tell you a little secret, okay? Here's the Uncle D-Mac's secret, right? When English is not your first language, and you hear these guys that have worked on it, whether it's the Czechs or the Russians or the Swedes or whatever, work on their English, there's certain terms that you can tell that people have been telling them. When he says, I just want to go out and have fun like when I was a kid, and play the game like I have fun when I was a kid. That's what he's being told. That's what we need you to do. Now, he's sacrificed so much this year because the development in his all-around game is what is needed for this team and him to be essential, and this is him getting some rewards out of it. Now, he's as much of your Fedorov in the fact that you got to make sure that he's riding with a whole bunch of confidence, and to me, that's what my Verona coming back will do that. Why do I say that? Because what are the facts? Go watch the end of the season after we acquired Veron and they put them together. There's some jam between them, some chemistry. Just like when you put Bertuzzi, Suter, and Fabry on the same line, the Guelph Storm line, right? That's the line they played in junior. So the familiarity is what Now, could I be wrong? Yeah, I could be wrong, but you give this kid confidence and you give this kid, put him in good situations, he's not going to score a lot of goals, or there's very few people that are going to score a lot of goals when the goalie has a straight chance to make the save, no matter where it is, unless it's like a one-time and you got him moving. Squared up, goalies will stop everything. It's just the way it is. That's how good they are. So you need him moving a lot more, so you need him playing with speed. Right, playing with Verona gives him more speed than playing with the other guys he was playing with, and we saw that with Dylan Larkin too. So, I mean, this is a big second half of the season once Verona comes back to see what Zadina does, and I would expect him to might not get to your 5. He could get to your 5 power play goals, but to your 20 goals, probably not. But forget about the first half of the season. And he can't sacrifice his all-around game, right, just to score goals. And that's the one thing is that...
He could if it were up to me, because that's what I'm about, D-Mac.
Well,
but it's
all
not
right
up to
if
me.
He was insulated and everything else.
No, I know, I get it.
No. Right, if that's what he did, but he doesn't score enough to be that guy.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. Speaking of being on the move, Pistons were on the move last night as well. They beat Boston in Boston. They were a 12.5-point underdog, 5-1 underdog as they got the win at Boston to ride off into the All-Star break. And Jeremy Grant was that dude in that game last night. When it came down to
Made that block?
When it came down to it, he was the guy.
He was the guy. No, that's a big win. I saw it throughout the tweeter machine. Is that, did this really happen? Our boy Isaac Eats was like, wait a sec. Am I dreaming? Did this really happen? And you see the drive to the basket at the end, and there was a great block, no foul. So shout out to them. They play hard.
No, they did. Sadiq Bey had a good game, too. 20 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. Cade Cunningham, 20 points. He had 8 rebounds, 6 assists as well. It did take him 22 shots to get there, but Cade Cunningham is the least of everyone's concerns. And yeah, next year will be a big year for them, certainly, with the Pistons, and we'll see how the draft shakes out and who they end up with, because they've got a real look at, again, being number 1, being number 2, being number 3 overall. And it's a similar formula as we early look at the NBA draft, D-Mac, I'll bring you up to speed real quick. It's a similar formula where there's about 3 dudes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, there's about 3 guys.
Easy tried to tell me there was 4. So I don't know who the 4th dude is.
Yeah.
But not too much, but at least it looks like we'll be at the top. So hopefully it's a complimentary piece to what we started building with getting. That's why winning the lottery last year was so huge on anything else. It was destiny. Destiny, I tell you.
No, so, that's just, just to touch on it, because it was a big win. So I figured, that we would bring that up. And before you guys even ask, because I know what you're going to do here, the tank and all that kind of stuff. They're in there. The NBA is a little bit different, just in that you have to be around that 1, 2, 3, because the difference in chance is so minute. You know what I'm saying? It's not an absolute. Yeah. If it were an absolute, I'd say, yeah, team tank. Like, the second you can't make the playoffs, back it up. You like to see little wins like this every now and then.
No, you do, and especially against, playing in Boston, winning in Boston, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever else. I look at it as you're developing and you're looking at individuals, even through the wings, is like, what are the experiences? So Cade Cunningham, he got his experience playing the Garden, winning the Garden. That's got to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a critical question for you guys regarding sports movies when we come back to right off the end of the show. It was pretty good. Sawyer brought it to my attention. I got a good chuckle out of that. Speaking of something that's pretty good, Gypsy Vodka. 50 different formulas, countless taste tests, long drawn-out process. But we didn't have to go through all that. All we get to do is go to the grocery store and get that bottle that you see on your screen. We get to reap the benefits. We get to pour it in the glass with the ice, with the club soda, squeeze some lime in there, and have a Saturday night, fellas. If you're in the vodka game at all, give it a spin. I'm telling you. Sawyer, I know deep down he was a little skeptical. He threw it in a bloody. He was more than happy.
I'll be tapping in this weekend.
But that's it right there. That's it. That's all the testimony. Look,
quick question. Proper bloody. Vodka first, then the stuff, or the stuff, then the vodka?
I like doing vodka first so I know how much I'm pouring in, and then you put the bloody stuff on top.
Gosh darn it, look at our frat boy responsible.
Yeah,
he's trying to tell everybody why the most responsible guy here is.
He grows up and and look, I could tell you about the artesian spring water, corn distilled 6 times. Look, none of that matters. Sawyer, tapping in. Gypsy Vodka in his bloody this weekend. I'm leaving it like that. Oh, it's locally made in Petoskey, Michigan, by the way, so support local guys from Michigan. Sawyer's into it. That's it. We're done talking about Gypsy Vodka. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Man, the show flew by today. It always does so in here. We're having a good time. We got Sam Flannel. We got Sawyer. Of course, we got 4 Stanley Cups and Darren McCarty. Oh, yeah, and there's me. Hey, well, I will say this. When KJ was on here, like I brought up to the... If you look at me, Darren McCarty, and KJ Wright, we had 4 Stanley Cups and 1 Super Bowl championship. That's pretty healthy on our part.
No, that's an impressive resume out of 3.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And Hour Detroit.
Oh, 2-hour Detroit. Best of Detroit play-by-play broadcasting.
KJ's worked hard for those.
Yeah. No, but again, it's been a good show here today. Sawyer brought this to my attention, and usually we try to do like some fun little bit at the end. Who's the best sports movie villain? This was something that ESPN put out. They had Shooter McGavin, Ivan Drago from Rocky IV fame, White Goodman,
oh yeah,
Big Red, Johnny Lawrence, Rachel Phelps from Major League, Bud Kilmer from Varsity Blues, Clubber Lang, a.k.a. Mr. T from Rockies, Jean Girard, the Formula 1 driver, and Talladega Nights, or other. And for me, and this is a great list because it really, I could do a segmented breakdown of every one of them, their strengths and weaknesses, like right on cue, on demand. I'll give you mine real quick since I'm already talking anyway. Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid was the biggest sports villain. You talk about a guy that was the ultimate dick. That's Johnny Lawrence.
In both versions of the movie, too.
And as Sawyer said, in both versions.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, Karate Kid, all of it. He's a dick, dude.
Made Jaden Smith cry.
It just, for me, man, he had the most punchable face, dude, just as Mr. Miyagi showed and Daniel LaRusso ended up showing. It's just, God, I hated that dude. I did. Drago getting a lot of love.
Well, Drago was like Clubber Lang was Mr. T at the time. He was like scary, mean, like Kimbo Slice, like brawler, mean. Drago was like, this is a machine. This is something new. Like, oh my gosh, it's almost like, seriously, for lack of better words, the Terminator, right? Like fighting a machine. But to me, right, and you know this, right, Neal, because we're golfers. But gosh darn it, Shooter McGavin, I'd never go to Red Lobster with him. I would never.
I didn't hate Shooter McGavin.
Just because he's that guy. You know that golf.
Maybe because I am that guy, right?
The douchiest dude, right?
I'll just beat everybody to it. I am that guy.
He is no, you're not. He is the douchiest dude that you know, right? That doesn't realize who he is. The rest of them sort of realized that they were that bad. But to your Johnny Lawrence, like, that's like one that is real, right? Like, that is a kid that you know that there's a bunch of kids like Johnny Lawrence that you grew up with out there. Right. That's why it makes it so real, right? Like Clubber Lang, you probably can see that. Drago, not so much. Shooter, you see him every weekend at the golf course.
Yeah, Rack says no Hercules from Sandlot, so Hercules getting a little bit of love as well. People blaming the current political climate too on Drago, so there is that with everything that's going on. That's fair.
I saw one in the comments that was pretty good. Who said it? Southpaw Slab said Hito from Rookie of the Year, the gigantic guy from the Mets. He's talking crap to like the 12-year-old. That was pretty good.
That one was good too. Who do you got, Sawyer?
I'd have to go. I don't know. Like Shooter's pretty good. Or Johnny Lawrence. But then I was talking to Corey Woods, our Lions beat reporter, and he goes, well, you're missing one thing. He's like, the only person who's killed somebody on that list is Drago. So you'd probably have to go with Drago, right? He's the meanest guy out there.
Yeah, he killed Apollo.
Yeah, but it wasn't murder.
I mean, he kind of knew what he was doing.
No, but it wasn't murder. It was within the rings, the boxing.
Well, yeah.
I don't hold that against him.
But didn't he tell him he's like, you got to throw the towel. And he's like, I'm not throwing the towel. And he's like, oh, well.
So he chose his destiny, more or less.
Yeah.
Robert Colosia says, I met Shooter McGavin at a taco shop in Palm Springs a while back. Of course, he's in the desert playing golf. LOL. Who do you got, D-Mac?
No, like I said, the shooters and the Johnny Lawrences are the ones, but you always love the owner in Major League. I was thinking, who is... I'm trying to think of the actor, but remember the ball player that Ricky Vaughn would face in Major League?
Jack Parkman?
Jack Parkman, whatever like that. He was a pretty good guy.
He's got a little shimmy.
The way he did the shimmy shuffle and stuff like that.
That make the women in Cleveland want to puke.
That's it. Make the women in Cleveland want to puke.
Who you got, Sam Flannel?
There's a good one, too. Hold on. Here's a good one, too, if you considered him, but he was awesome. Big Earn.
Big Earn was legit.
Big Earn and Kingpin.
He was a hero, though. He wasn't a villain. To me.
Well,
I want a Big Earn to win.
People.
I want a Big Earn to win.
Guy started, Roy lost his hand.
I know.
Not because of Big Earn.
But I still want a Big Earn to win.
You just love the hair.
No, you know what I love about him? He orders the drinks from the waitress, and he says, keep them coming. I got a long drive ahead of me.
Sorry,
all right, what do you got, Sam Flannel?
So after watching Cobra Kai, I believe that Johnny Lawrence was not the villain at all. It was just a perspective difference, and I think he actually came out and aged a lot better. So Johnny Lawrence was not a bully, and Daniel LaRusso wanted an illegal kick.
Yeah, but Johnny Lawrence was still a dick, so that's what it was.
I think Daniel LaRusso was kind of a dick, too. He was like I don't know, he was looking to fight everybody. He had just this massive chip on his shoulder. Like everything set him off. I know he was kind of the new kid who was trying to find his way.
Conversation for another day about how Sam's going to stick up to
They destroyed the man's bike, dude.
Johnny Lawrence is the hero compared to Danny LaRusso. He's really the bully.
Yeah, they ran Danny LaRusso off the road and destroyed his bike, man. How would you feel?
You know what? Daniel LaRusso shouldn't have gone hitting on Johnny Lawrence's ex, like right in front of him. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, game recognized game, man.
Toho, here we go. All right, Sawyer, you got something for a future conversation? Team Lawrence or Team Russo?
Yeah, might have to do a YouTube poll tomorrow.
They're saying the warden in The Longest Yard actually
that's a
murdered
good
someone.
Oh yeah, they did. He had Adam Sandler's buddy killed. They sent the one dude to blow up his cell. Yeah. I forget his character's name though.
Caretaker.
Caretaker. Yup. And a boy.
All right. Well, hey, masterful job, guys, with the last 10 minutes. That's the content that people want. No, it was fun though. I don't know what it was about that list. I know that this format's made for lists, but that one really struck a chord. Good work on that one. So I appreciate you. Appreciate Sam Flannel. D-Mac, good run today, man.
That was fun. Fun. Thank you to KJ Wright. And,
absolutely. Big thank you to Annie H. Hoffman, too, for setting that up. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, right, my friend?
NASCAR. Sawyer's.
5 double on. I forgot about that. Wait, guys, we're going to get at least 2 segments of NASCAR. So if that, I probably shouldn't have told you that before you tapped in for tomorrow. That's bad on my part, I guess, recreating it. But we are. And I'm going to ask the questions because I'm not a NASCAR person. If you're not a NASCAR person, ask your question. Sawyer will answer them tomorrow.
Deuces.
Thanks for watching, listening. Big D Energy. Well, see you later.